Um, sorry. I think like
Sorry.
No, it's alright, really.
I'm hushing the dark. I'm lining up stones on the edge of the bed. Rally the troops for another fight. I sing this softly to myself. I sing this softly to myself.
Cannot go.
Mama inside this video. Here, you tell Mama.
You can't go.
Naomi cannot. Too short.
I'm buried beneath the sand. There's no way to speak or reach out my hand. Watching the paper slowly unfold.
Let's say Happy Mother's Day.
Bracing for news that I
Mother?
can't bear to hold.
Quick.
I'm singing this song.
You say what, Naomi?
Where are you going?
Tell Daddy you say what?
I sing this
Okay,
softly to myself.
Hi guys, so in today's video, we're gonna do something slightly different from my usual content. I realized growing up, I always found it really difficult to have deep and honest conversations with my parents. And especially now as a parent myself, I realized how important it is to address all these things left unsaid. So there were many past events that actually affected my relationship with my parents that still linger around in my mind, in my heart, my soul. And I feel like I need to have this conversation with them so that I can probably, hopefully, gain new perspective as well as to have closure, because I know that this will be something that I will deeply regret if I don't do it now. In preparation for today's video, my parents and I actually took a walk down memory lane where we revisited some of the spots that shaped us into who we are today, and you'll be seeing some of the snippets along the way. Thank you so much for following us on this journey. So this used to be a hangout spot for like hush-hush like meetings. It's so funny because just on the car I was like, we have this fitness corner that's near my place that I usually meet my friends. Then I pause for a bit, I'm like, actually not friends, more like dates. But my parents don't know about it, so I don't know if I should talk about it.
You just disappear in your room like this.
Huh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I dread to come here actually because I just remember feeling very like alone most of the time. I remember last time before I even tell her what is it that I want to tell her, I was just like, Mommy, I got something to tell you, and then she will like get really angry.
Yeah, must be something bad, no?
So like, yeah, that was how my journey online started as well, because I didn't have anywhere or anyone to express those feelings to. This particular road right here holds a lot of core memories, bad ones. That there was one time I actually ran away from home. And then like, I had this huge commotion with my parents here. So yeah, gives me chills coming back here. So how did it feel to revisit places that we spent most of our time together as a family?
I just feel like so old already. It's like so many years ago. Of course, Pasir Ris will have many fond memories, but not the Loyang one, which has many memories that I do not want to remember at all.
Honestly, until today, I feel like whenever I look back at everything that happened, I can't quite figure out what exactly went wrong as well. I think there was a lot of fear. I don't know if it's self-imposed or like if it's because of this impression that I have that, you know, if I were to share something with y'all, like y'all might not be okay with it. I mean, especially Mom, I think because Mommy is always a little more reactive, I struggled with like, what can I say to y'all? What can I not say to y'all? Why I actually started going for therapy was because I started to notice these patterns with the children. I noticed myself being unable to regulate my own emotions and anger. Honestly, after going for therapy, I actually understand if I'm not being taught how to regulate my emotions, if I witness that your immediate response to situations are always anger, eventually that becomes my coping mechanism as well, you know what I mean? So there was always a lot of tension at home. But when I think about it deeper, it could really be my relationship with you. Like, you know, I think sorry. I think like
Lack of love from your father?
it's not that. It's strange, isn't it? I mean, technically, you loved me a lot, but maybe it was your absence. I guess that kind of like led to a downward spiral as well, because I kept meeting the wrong boys. Sorry. And I was very incapable of loving myself. That was something I really struggled with for the longest time. Like, I didn't see the good in myself. I constantly needed validation from other people, and I guess back then it was prominently boys lah. There were a lot of things that would have been better spoken with like mom instead. But I think we didn't really have that kind of daughter-mom relationship where I felt comfortable with sharing my problems with her.
You and I have like, you know, a father-daughter relationship when you were much younger. As you grew older, obviously there are things that are not suitable to discuss with a man, and probably going to be easier for you to talk to your mom. So I kind of like left it that way, thinking that, yeah, probably those needs are being addressed by your mom. And of course, one of those things was boy-girl relationships and, you know, things like that. Those instances really kind of like took things up many notches. And I think that was the period of time where the relationship really went quite bad.
Okay, now I'm going to my primary school. I guess you can say that those were the days that my parents were most proud of me, because I was
overachiever.
So many medals.
I was achieving quite a bit. Before I reached secondary school, everything went downhill from there. So yeah. Also, this was the gate. I think this was the gate that I used to come out from.
You sneak out from here.
Yeah.
So you remember at one time I caught you when I came to pick you up. And the moment she saw me, she ran even further. And I fell down because I was chasing after you. You said, oh shit, my mother is here. Then you keep running and running. And I was like chasing after you until I fell.
Then what did I do?
You just run away.
Maybe it's not me.
Oh my God, you.
So if let's say I were to ask you about what's the most traumatizing event for you two as parents, could you name me one?
At that time was BGR. I don't understand how come you have so many boys at that time. Those are the boys that, you know, mom don't even like one. And most of the time, I see you crying more than, you know, you are happy.
So I think growing up, of course I didn't understand.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, it's not my fault for
that is
falling
why
in
you
love.
hate me very much.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, I won't use the word hate, but of course there were a lot of negative feelings because I really didn't understand what's so wrong about falling in love. Just to provide a bit of context, I kind of met a boy when I was 13. We basically had orientation camp and I snuck out with a few other friends, him included. And yeah, like we got caught and my parents were called down. Because of that incident, I also got closer to him. And incident 2 was when I actually lost my V-card to him. My parents found out about it. I also addressed it online. That incident itself really made things a lot worse because then my parents started doubting my whereabouts. My mom actually would go through my phone and my belongings. And I think that really created a lot of tension between us as well, because I felt like there were a lot of times, especially at that age, where you kind of want a bit more privacy. I felt like I didn't have any privacy.
I think at that particular moment, the reaction was being furious at why this had happened to begin with. At the end, it was more trying to protect you. The anger came out of why would someone do this to my little girl who we always felt was beautiful, perfect, and that, you know, someone has hurt her in that way. Maybe it could have been done better. Maybe I could have, you know, have more heart-to-heart discussions with you. Maybe that could have helped.
I don't know, I feel a lot of emotions right now because I feel very bad that you're blaming yourself. I think you really tried. You've done your best, both of you. As parents, you know, I wouldn't know how to navigate through a situation like that. Honestly, prior to us having this talk, my impression for, I think, practically majority of my life is that my parents are always very 爱面子. So it's like they care a lot about their face. So for instance, when we were talking about like losing my V card and blogging about it, I put up a post and I remember like one of Mom's immediate response was like, what am I going to say to your relatives? You know, like how am I going to face them? So there's always this like impression from my mom that she cares more about what other people think than how I feel. That's back then, you know, that's how I always used to see things. So perhaps you could let me know.
Back then I was very furious when I found out this, and I thought to myself that probably I wasn't a good mother, that I do not know how to teach you proper things and allow this thing to happen. And of course, yeah, also because of face. How am I going to tell your relatives when they get to know about it? And your grandma. In fact, that day when I told your grandmother, she cried. She was so angry with that boy that she asked me why how come this thing is happening? Grandma was very furious. She told me she cried every night. She didn't want anyone to bully you as well.
And indeed, she was more concerned about you than the incident. You know, that you've been taken advantage of, and that reaction was really just out of how we felt at that particular point of time.
Like I said, it was kind of like dropped in from nowhere. And we were a bit unprepared for parenthood. I mean, no one is prepared for, but in this case, it was like such a sudden jump. We skipped like infancy and we suddenly became a parent of toddler.
I think there was this feeling growing up as well that I wasn't too sure whether you really loved me. Like, there were instances where I felt like you didn't really want me, especially with how close I was to Dad.
Yeah, right.
I think there were a lot of times where I felt like you would much rather I wasn't there so that I didn't come between the both of you. Because I remember you're fighting a lot about me. And I think even though I was young and I didn't really understand what was going on, these are things that I remember very clearly, that every time you all fought, I would hear my name, you know. It's like, it's always something to do with me.
The coming between both of us was the beginning when you came over. I felt that was like drifting away from me. I can feel that he loves you more than Mom. Because of this, I actually thought why I want to adopt you, you know. So, and our relationship is bad because of you.
I think like being able to have this conversation with the both of you today has made me kind of gain new perspective, which was kind of like my intention, because I felt like, you know, I think growing up, I always have this impression of the both of you, and I want to know the truth to whether this impression is real, or, you know, like what's your side of the story. So I'm really glad that we managed to sit down and talk about this amicably, because I wouldn't have imagined us having this talk, you know, if I didn't bring forth this idea. So right now we have Dr. Sunita right here. She's been listening to our entire conversation just now, and right now she'll be sharing with us some of her insights and opinions to help us better navigate how to move forward from here.
I do see parents as very, very invested in Naomi. That's something that I noticed very strongly coming out. I also noticed that both of you care a lot for her. The intention is great. Sometimes implementation is something that can be tweaked. Success and expectations are not talked about enough, because there were mistakes that were being done, and those mistakes were blown up quite a bit. Until like the things that she was good at might have been played down, because you're so busy, your own amygdala, the brain is so busy looking at, hey, protect her, make sure nothing goes wrong, right? And sometimes that itself can overtake success, can overtake the building of confidence in the person. And that's something that parents should try too hard. I must protect you, I must make sure you're this crystal that nothing go wrong, don't got one crack also. And then it backfires. And this is what we call enmeshed. It's like everybody's stuck together. For Naomi, I wanted you to think about your life as choices, not traps. They were not trapped in taking you. It was a choice that they made to have you. So obviously, they always wanted you. But somehow in your mind is playing up, did you ever want me? But when I'm hearing from them is, I always wanted you, just sometimes difficult. Right?
So maybe you can share with us some tips, whether it's for us or for the audience, you know, like moving forward, if someone's going through the same situation, if they want to have a conversation with their parents, what's going to happen, you know, like how do we move?
Find the right time and place. This isn't the best reality of it. You're here because you want others to benefit. Find a time and space that you can openly talk without interruption. And come with specific examples. I think each one of you were doing that just now really, really well. State the intention very openly. It's painful, difficult, but you want to talk about it. And of course, the last thing I'll say is the way forward. We also must agree, what are we going to do with all this information?
What if someone, like, their parents are not willing to have this conversation?
I think that's a great question, right? Because the reality is most of them won't do what they did. Yes. I'm just being very frank about it, right? So there are a few ways, right? I mean, of course, seeking professional help is one, especially if it's extreme. Option 2 is getting good friends, those really that can be trusted, not those that you say and then they tell to another person. Because sometimes when you speak about it, right, you discharge it from your body. Otherwise, your body stores all the trauma or the bad things that's happened, right? Number 3 is journaling is really, really helpful. Journaling is a great way to start, to just put it out there. And I'll also say that focus a lot on forgiving oneself. Our bigger problem is we blame ourselves for everything that's happened, or we blame the other. So if we take ownership of it, a lot of this like reduces by itself. Yeah. So these are some things people can do on their own first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think today's conversation was really an eye-opener for all of us. These were thoughts and feelings that I believe all of us had a really hard time holding on to all these years, and I'm glad we finally managed to express ourselves. Definitely wasn't easy, but at least we did it. I'm very, very happy that my parents were willing to come on board to film this with me, and I believe generational trauma is a thing. So I hope that, you know, with this conversation, more people can actually learn more about it and hopefully do something about it. To me, what's most important is that this is the start of a new chapter for my parents and I hope that we can continue to support and heal moving forward. And finally, I just want to say that, remember, healing is a journey. It's not going to be easy, it's going to take time, but what's most important is that you stay committed to support and heal together as a family. Thank you.